This year, for Mark's birthday, I've created a rather unusual present. This video is to explain what's going on, and I hope you'll join me in making it an event to remember. And Mark, if you happen across this video while it's still 2016 and not yet your birthday, please turn it off and go do something else. Don't spoil the surprise, okay? On June 28th, I'm going to celebrate Markiplier's birthday by donating time, money, and creativity to charity, and by giving thanks to those in my life who ought to hear it a little more often than they do. It's weird trying to invent a holiday, but this one feels right, because it's an outpouring of the highest aspirations Mark has for this community. And once I've explained it, maybe you'll feel the same. If you think the idea is sound, I hope you'll pass it around to other fans. If we can get even 1% of Mark's fanbase involved, that's 130,000 participants. I started work on a big, complicated video to explain my reasoning, but you know what? If you've been paying attention to Mark at all, especially in his fan mail videos, you know he doesn't want people to send him presents. And the presents are awesome! I don't want to put a stop to that. This community is filled with boundless energy, astounding creativity and talent. Keep on making awesome things! But let's stop sending them to Mark, who doesn't need or want them, and instead send them to the people Mark wants us to help. People in need, people who lack the basic things we take for granted. Men, women, and children whose lives could be profoundly affected by some food or clothing or a soft pillow or a toy. Animals, too. In other words, take all that creative energy and enthusiasm and channel it toward helping others and doing good in the world. Mark's been working hard to raise money for charity, and he's expressed a heartfelt desire to see us tackle our own charity projects. Everything I know about Mark says a project like this will go straight to his heart. It's literally the best present I can think of. And Mark still gets presents, tons of presents, just not physical presents. Photos and videos of people helping others, donating their time and effort to those who need it most, collected under the hashtag TinyBoxTimDay, all posted on June 28th. Mark gets to see the results of our efforts, but not in a way that requires him to deal with a room full of boxes and dozens of letters. It helps others, it's less stressful for Mark, and it's in the summer when lots of charities are running dry. People donate more during the winter months. But summer is when kids don't have access to school lunch programs. Homeless people deal with chronic dehydration. A lot of families below the poverty line have an air conditioner, but they might struggle to pay the bill. And if they've got even less money, they might not have appropriate clothing to deal with the heat. And that's not even counting the year-round charity causes like kids in the hospital or foster care, people in nursing homes, blood donations, and the lack of fresh water in places around the globe. So for Mark's birthday, let's direct all that energy outward toward people who need it. Instead of making presents for Mark, make a present for someone in need. Or else donate time or money or items to charity. Instead of sending Mark a letter telling him how much he affected your life, find someone who isn't getting buried under fan mail and tell them how much they affected your life. Mark says to do good and spread joy, to reach out to those in need. We can do all of that, and TinyBoxTimDay is a day to focus our efforts as a community. Here's the guidelines. Sometime in June, donate your time, money, or creativity to charity. In your own communities or across the world, by yourself or in small groups, or large groups if you can manage it, find something that would help others and do that thing. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to help someone. Even just by lifting the spirits of a kid in foster care or in the hospital. Spend a little time making sure you're giving the right thing, though. Hospitals can't accept used toys. Homeless people often have tooth problems, so avoid candy or anything hard to chew. Food banks can buy nutritious food at much lower prices than you can. So while food donations are good, monetary donations go farther. And if you're donating used items, make sure they're clean and in good repair. If you want to donate creativity, make a TinyBoxTim or anything Markiplier themed that's useful and family friendly. Here's some ideas, but they're just the tip of the iceberg, so go nuts. I'm also proposing 2 specific items. A TinyBoxTim care box and a Markiplier themed bento box. For the care box, make a TinyBoxTim, fill it with useful goodies, and give it to someone who could use a variety of items. I went for half calories and half toiletries, and will be giving it to a homeless guy I know. I'll also be helping my nephews and nieces make their own, so we can give them to homeless people we see around town. I hope to put up a companion video so you can see what I made. For the bento box, you have to understand food safety. If you're not up on food safety, you probably shouldn't try the bento box. And unless you're giving it to someone you know, make sure to label it for allergens. especially if you use some of the most common triggers for food allergies, such as nuts, soy, eggs, strawberries. But bento boxes have some of the most astounding artwork I've ever seen, all made from bits of a nutritious meal. I think it'd be awesome to see some bento artists make Markiplier-themed meals to give to low-income families or something. Whatever you do, get a photo or video of the effort. If it's not obviously Markiplier-themed, then don't forget to include Tiny Box Tim. He can be on a t-shirt, a poster, sitting on a shelf in the background, whatever. But having him in the picture shows it was taken for this event. And on Mark's birthday, June 28th, post that photo or video on social media under the hashtag TinyBoxTimDay. So that's how it goes. At the start of June 28th, post a photo or video of you helping others. During June 28th, spread gratitude toward others, and especially reach out to someone who made a difference in your life. And direct all these wonderful things, not at Mark himself, but out from Mark, through us to other people. I know I got this video together late, but I hope the idea spreads around and enough people join in to make it interesting. I hope it becomes a yearly event, because I honestly think that Mark will like this a lot more than getting presents for himself. But whatever happens, happy Tiny Box Tim Day.